Okay, so for the second time this year, I've made my way up to Cardiff, but I'm without Chris Jones. Unfortunately, he's stuck in Treviso. He says he can't catch a flight. I think it's due to the early start or potentially Brexit. But fortunately for you guys listening, you'll be pleased to know that I've upgraded my Jones this week and found myself the Welsh captain, who's off to his fourth World Cup in Alun Wyn Jones. How are you? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Cardiff again.
This time with your top on.
Yeah, but that wasn't by choice. You sort of trapped us last time, didn't you?
Well, when I walked through and you were coming out of cryo chamber, you looked fairly well tensed. You were expecting a camera to be shown in your
Well, it's amazing what fat cells do for the cold does for the fat cells. Sorry, but yeah, so it was a good timing anyway.
Superb time. I've just called you Alun Wyn Jones because that's your name, but there always seems to be a bit of confusion.
Yeah,
which I'd quite like to clarify.
yeah,
because you're one of. I mean, you've played over 120 times your country.
Yeah.
You've been playing best part of 2 decades.
I know
it's
you're going to
not
say.
like it's a cock and a singer or a thock and a singer. It's
No.
Alun Wyn Jones.
Yeah,
If you were filling out a passport application,
yeah.
first name,
I'd probably be Alan.
Alan.
Yeah, middle name Wyn, last name Jones.
Is that how it goes?
Something like that. Yeah, that's what my wife
you
always
sure?
tells me. But put it this way, I go on 2 things. My dad was a Jones, so I'm a Jones.
Yeah.
And when I was naughty as a kid, I was always Alan Wyn. So, if Mum says it's Alun Wyn, it's Alun Wyn. Irrelevant what it says in the passport or driver's license.
It's nuts because a person of your reputation and person who's done everything you've done to be called Alan from Wales just because people aren't quite sure whether you're Alan, Alan Wyn, and now we've got a Wyn Jones in the squad, and it's just
The character who started that one. My wife called me Alan from Wales then for about 2 days after he said that, on thanks to Hask. So she enjoyed that one more than I did. But yeah, she was rolling around with that one. But it is what it is.
so you're Alan.
Alun Wyn. Well, yeah, effectively, but I'm Alun Wyn to everyone who knows me, close family and the boys and all that.
So
Yeah.
what would I call you?
You can call me what you want, mate.
Alan Wyn?
Yeah, there you
Are we
go.
close
Yeah,
enough?
yeah, there you go.
Okay.
None the clearer though.
None the clearer, yeah, I've not a clue. We've not solved anything, but that's absolutely fine. World Cup squad was announced just recently, and just looking at this wall behind us, which is perfectly placed to have a look at some of the history which you've been able to put onto this. And in fact, how do I pronounce? I mean, I'm presuming that says Grand Slam at the very top there. How do I pronounce that?
Yeah, Camp Lown.
Camp Lown.
I think so. Yeah.
And then this guy, which I just
Go on, you have got that one.
Pen Camp Rythaith.
We're close. I think so. Yeah, I'm not a fluent Welsh speaker for me.
But either way, there's a lot.
It was a
Was
good
that
effort.
all right?
It was a good effort.
Okay, cool. Either way, there's a huge amount of history there and a huge amount of success which we can look at. Teams that you've been involved in, and I want to make the comparison between this 2019 squad and some of the other squads that you've been involved in, because everyone's spoken about this golden generation when you had the likes of Gethin Jenkins, your Adam Jones, you in the second row, you got your Martin Williams, your Mike Phillips, your Shane Williams, Gavin Henson, we still all remember him. And that team perhaps, or that squad of men probably didn't achieve everything that their calibre perhaps dictated. Where would you measure the squad that you've got now against where some of those legends of the game
I think rather than the individuals, I think you take the squad as a whole. I think that's important. I think the balance of age.
Better squad now then?
I think the balance. That's what I'm saying. The balance of age and experience.
Okay.
Whether it's better, it's not for me to say because I'm in there. I'm not going to hang anyone out. But what I will say, there's something missing on the board that we're going to go and get. And like I say, there's a squad we have at the minute with balance, age and experience. That the potential, if we fulfil it, is definitely capable of doing a job.
The one thing you've always wanted to be, I've always got on the outside looking in, is Wales have been very happy being underdogs, under the radar, and that's been increasingly more difficult, especially this year. Grand Slam, you're ranked number 1 in the world. So how are you able to shoulder that new challenge, perhaps a new jockeying position?
Yeah, it is something you have to be aware of. And the ranking thing's interesting. It's a nice label to have, but it's a label. Let's be honest.
But you must be proud of it.
Oh yeah, very much so. I didn't say it wasn't, but it is a label as well, and things can change very rapidly before we step foot into a World Cup game.
Yeah.
And with regards to the underdog tag, yeah, it's in a way you've got nothing to lose when you're an underdog. You can stay under the radar and just simmer, and then poke your head above the parapet if you like, and then steal a few. But I think we've we were, people talk about the game-winning rounds and the records that we had with 14 on the bounce, etc. We never focused on that. We never really spoke about it. Well, we obviously once we got it, but not once it was done, it was like let's move on because. It's like if you look too far ahead, you lose at what sight your feet. If that makes sense.
So I thought your loss at Twickenham was just recently in the pre-season. I felt as if that was a good thing for the squad.
Oh, it's never a good thing to lose a game, but you always go out to play. We didn't win is a cliche game of two halves. We probably didn't come up fire in the first half. Turns it round late on the second. You could say it's a monkey off our back, but like I say, I'm never happy with a loss. Never ever happy with a loss. But to have that pressure, like I say, the momentum that we've had for so long, it's a lot easier to dip back into that, the snowball effect and increase those performances rather than, we'll remain underdog and be comfortable there. It's like, no, we're pushing forward.
Okay, cool. Can we talk about you and your importance within this squad?
Okay.
Something which I know you're not comfortable talking about, but I think it is important to talk about the main man. You are the guy that are leading the hopes and dreams of this nation out in Japan. And a friend of mine who's a lot more clever than I am has done a bit of research and analysis on you.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, well, you played 127 matches for Wales.
Yeah.
How many of them do you reckon you started?
Oh, wow. Oh, I don't know. 127. Oh, 110?
116.
Oh, it's not too far.
No, it's not too far. How many of those starts, 116 starts, do you reckon you've played 80 minutes?
Oh. Someone has done their maths, haven't they? Wow. 93.
Okay, you're not far off. 89.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, those numbers are just numbers and they're nothing without context. The point I'm trying to make is, number one, you're clearly a very competitive man, but you're someone, when you're on the pitch, you don't ever want to get off it. And considering the position that you play, and you're over 30 now, and
physically maybe, not mentally.
But you're looking fantastic. But you're someone that, once you're there, you're just a competitor all the way through, which is, I think they're remarkable statistics for a guy that's played over 100 test matches.
Well, again, like you said, they are only stats, aren't they? So, don't get me wrong, I'm not bemoaning that achievement or whatever, but I'm won a World Cup, I won a Champions Cup. There's these things that you still put. I've still got space on the mantelpiece.
Yeah, of course.
I've got to put weight behind that, and I have to answer the question for myself, because if I stop again, if I don't answer those sort of questions like that, then I'm telling myself the wrong answers, if that makes sense. And it's probably time for me to move on. So that's why I do what I do, and I still like to do it. And being part of this squad, I still make mistakes on and off the field. Try and correct those. As long as I learn from them and don't make them again, then I'm happy. But ultimately, your team, you're an extension of your team, and vice versa.
Probably not a question for you to answer then. I'm not sure how you're going to, but how important do you feel that you are to this squad? Because we're starting with the fact that you are captain. That's undeniable.
Yeah. I think obviously the experience is probably the experience I have rather than me is the important thing. And that's within the leadership group, the likes of Jonathan Davis, Ken Owens, the Corey Hills of this world, other line-out callers, people that are instrumental to the rugby workings, and people that are instrumental off-field as well. The committees and the subcommittees that we have. And the fresh blood that's coming in, that's probably going to make mistakes and make us laugh, which is all in part. It's important. You've been
of course, yeah.
You can't all be. I've been through the phase of like head in the books and just on the pitch. You can't be like that all the time, particularly when you go away from home.
Okay, we'll touch it on that, because everyone knows the competitor that you are. Sing a national anthem. If there's a ball boy that needs a warm jacket, that you'll give it to him. We love it. We buy into it. Everyone absolutely loves you. But who is Alan, or Alun Wyn?
Alan from Wales.
Who's Alan from Wales? Away from the rugby pitch, away from the training centre.
It's changed quite a bit. I think I was probably more in the training centre earlier in my career than I probably should have needed to be. But you can't look back and regret those sort of things. And now my day offs aren't so much day offs. They're park, or their swimming pool, or their colouring in. You know what it's like.
I'd love to see you in soft play.
Oh, mate. That's where the flexibility. I thought that the flexibility I've been doing for all these years was for my sport, but actually it's just for soft play.
Yeah.
I'm got some mean skills with the plastic ball as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
But no, yeah. So you know what it's like. So those days have changed, particularly in the last 2 or 3 months, because time is at a premium. All being well, you get selected, so you try and make the most of that time. But yeah. Spending time with the family at present is definitely the order of the day, because Mali was I think she was 4 or 5 weeks old in the last World Cup, and Eva now is 16 months. So by the give it a month or two, and she'll develop even more, and I've missed another period. But I'm very fortunate. I've got a wife that understands, having been a runner, the commitment you need in sport. So you just got to get on with it.
Could we play a game of top trumps?
Okay, here we go.
Alun Wyn Jones, top trumps.
Okay.
I want you to mark yourself. Okay. So we're going to have a list of attributes.
Yeah.
Speed out of 100.
70.
70. Okay, solid.
Is that just across the deck, or is it thought? Or is it like I need
No.
specifics?
Okay, we're talking physical speed.
Oh, okay, fair. Let's start again.
Okay, physical speed. What would you give yourself out of 100?
63.
I think you're being a bit harsh.
Yeah.
You look good in a wide channel.
Okay, 71.
Oh, this is 75.
Oh, okay.
We'll split it different. 73.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, physicality.
85.
Strong. Discipline.
96.
Ooh, like that. Leadership.
93.
You say your discipline's greater than your leadership.
Yeah.
Can I disagree with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to say more. If your discipline's 96, I'm going to say your leadership's... I'm going to say it's 100.
Oof. I don't know. The only thing I'd say to that is, like, it's a lot easier for me to be disciplined, whereas leadership is sometimes in the hands of other people, isn't it?
True. Okay, well...
Sorry, I'm overthinking it, mate.
Okay, fair enough. Handling.
Ever improving. Always improve more. 80.
But also...
Am I being too, like...
I think you're being harsh on yourself.
Okay.
Because could Dan Bigger catch a line out above his head under pressure one-handed? And
I didn't think of that. I'm just thinking,
handling... Everyone just says it's just catch and pass, but actually...
Yeah.
Could a
Delivery.
one-man lift...
Sometimes the delivery is harder than the catch.
Well, there you go.
Okay, let's go 91.
Okay.
Happy.
I quite like that. I'm now going to play another game with you. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just warm you up. I want you to think about all the players that you've played with and against, and I want you to pick or make the perfect player.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the head, and that's just mental toughness, mental resilience. Who's the one person that sticks out in your mind?
It goes two ways, isn't it? I've got to process this now.
Yeah.
Is that,
take your time.
Because playing and coming back from injury, two different things, eh?
Okay.
So I'd have to say... this is the tough one, mate. You got me any bit.
Just
I played against...
Or with?
Against or with... Dan Lydiot, probably.
Dan Lydiot. Okay. He's a tough boy.
Mate. Body on the line. Intelligent man as well.
Okay, eyes in terms of vision.
Probably have to be Dan Carter, wouldn't it?
Hello, player.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to the mouth in terms of... We're not going to use every single body part.
Okay.
The mouth's quite poignant because in terms of delivery of message and the way in which they can motivate, whether it be a coach, a player, someone that gnaws you off on a pitch. It could be anyone.
Entertainment value?
He can be.
I'm going to have to go with Hask, can't I? He's had 2 mentions here. He'll be loving it.
Yeah, he'll be so happy with that. Okay. Heart. Who's that person? Never say die attitude. Who's got the ticker? The heartbeat of a team.
Again, Owen.
Ken Owens.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, love that.
The man's man, rugby's man.
Love him. We interviewed him after you guys won the Grand
mate.
Slam.
Yeah.
Could barely string a sentence together. It was incredible, incredible timing. Okay, legs. 2 legs, 1 for speed, 1 for power.
Shane Williams, speed,
Okay,
power. Toby Faletau.
okay. You might have gone too early with Shane Williams because last bit of the puzzle is feet.
Feet. Oh yeah. Give Shane the feet then.
Shane the feet, and then the speed on the other leg is.
Are you setting me up to put you in here now?
No,
I'm trying not to put you in here. That's what I'm doing.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm just sat here and you've ignored me, but that's fine.
Oh, go on. You can have that one.
Okay,
You can have that one.
much.
What was the second test they're running, was it?
Yeah.
They were right, weren't they?
Yeah, it was all right. Legs are working then. Hey,
Oh, third test, sorry.
third test.
Third test, sorry.
We haven't got long, so I'm
Okay.
going to try and rattle through this, okay? So the day after Wales play their last match in Japan, what's going to be the headlines on all the Welsh papers?
Gas was right.
Gats was right.
Yeah. We don't know what he said yet, though, do we?
No, no, I don't know what he said. Feels like that was like the ending of an episode of Line of Duty. Tune in next week, where we'll recap. Can I ask you one last question before you leave?
Okay.
If Wales don't win the World Cup, would you be happy to see England win it?
It depends how they got there, doesn't it? Oh, until next week.
Thank you very much, Ray.